así después tal vez alguien que no haya podido participar pueda ver la presentación. No sé si hay alguien que objeta esto.
Just to say, if you have,
je vais...
I mean, for the students, if you have questions, don't hesitate. You can ask.
Okay, no.
All right, thank you.
I was asking our students if they have any objection to the record of this session.
Marcelo,
Okay.
Go ahead. It will be useful for other students later.
Okay.
That's
Thank
fine. So this is a presentation of the Ecole Centrale in Lyon, and of both of the academic side and some of the other aspects of life on campus. So it doesn't take account of recent events, but I'm happy to answer any questions about how we've managed over the last 6 months. So first of all, the Ecole Centrale is one of 5 Ecole Centrale in France, the group of Ecole Centrale. The others are in Paris, in Lille in the north, in Nantes, and in Marseille. And so it's based in Écully, which is just a short distance outside the center of Lyon. Lyon is the capital of the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region, which is the second most important economic region in France after Île-de-France, after Paris, and historically has always been a very important city for France. For a long time it was the capital of France, the capital of Gaul. It's linked to Paris by the high-speed TGV train, so it's 2 hours from the center of Lyon to the center of Paris. It's about 1.5 hours from the center of Lyon to Marseille, again by high-speed train, and it's about 1.5 hours from Lyon to from the center of Lyon to the Alps, if you're interested in skiing. It probably takes about the same time to go from the center of Lyon to the center of Paris as it does to go from the Ecole Centrale in Paris, or Centrale Supélec, to the center of Paris. To give you some idea of the travel times. And so Lyon is a historically a very important city. You can see that it dates from before Roman times. These are some of the Roman remains up on Fourvière. In the Middle Ages, it was on the main trading route between France and Italy. And so the medieval center of Lyon, you can see various pictures of this, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of the architecture, and in particular its association with the silk trade. It has a very famous festival on the 8th of December, the Festival of Lights, which is, I think I'm right in saying, the second biggest tourist event in Europe after the Oktoberfest in Munich, and something like the 5th biggest tourist event in the world, 5th or 6th. So it's a city that is it's a historical city. It's a very pleasant city. It's still known as the gastronomic capital of France, and it's an important industrial center. In fact, although people think of Toulouse as being the center of the aerospace industry in France, there are more subcontractors, aeronautical subcontractors in the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region than there are around Toulouse. So it's a center of the chemical industry to the south of Lyon, the aeronautical industry, and also the automobile industry. The Ecole Centrale is what we call a general engineering science establishment. We have about between 1,500 and 1,600 students, all different programs taken together, with about 200 PhD students, 200 master's students, 400 staff, of which are 120 around 120 are academic staff. We'll come back to research in a minute, but the Ecole Centrale has always sought to distinguish itself from particularly from Centrale Supélec, but from other engineering schools, by the quantity and the quality of its research. So our education, the educational program at the Ecole Centrale is very heavily based on our research activities, and a lot of the teaching takes place in our research laboratories. We are an establishment with a strong international presence. Our students have to do a minimum of 1 semester abroad in order to get their degree. Most of them do more than that. And we recruit international students from almost all countries in the world, either for the engineering degree or for the master's degree. And so at any one time, maybe about a quarter of the students on campus come from different parts of the world. Everybody can show their, this is not completely up to date, I've not got the latest figures, but everybody can show their best results in the ranking, but we are ranked, L'Étudiant is a French publication which is aimed at students, particularly students wanting to go onto higher education, so these are from 2016, 2017 and 18, but we were ranked very highly in France for our teaching and for our research. And then in the world, again, these are not totally up to date, but these are some of the
Richard, excuse me, Richard. See, just to say that we cannot see the whole screen. Maybe if it's possible to enlarge, because we cannot see the left part. Maybe.
Okay, wait a minute. I'll
or the right part. I don't know exactly. For example, yes, it's okay now. I think it's
better.
Yes, peut-être c'est mieux comme ça. Maybe it's better.
Is that okay like that?
Yes, for my part, it's okay like that. I don't know for the students. Maybe can you see everything or not?
Yeah, we can see everything now.
Okay.
Okay. So, although I'll talk later about research in detail, these are just some of the. This is just to put things in context for what comes later. So as I said, that research is a very important activity for the Ecole Centrale. All our research laboratories are joint laboratories with the CNRS, which means we also have full-time researchers working in those labs. And the main research priorities for the Ecole Centrale are transport, both ground and aeronautical, nanotechnologies. So we have part of the Lyon Nanotechnology Institute on the site at Lyon. Energy, both in the production and the distribution, environment, and bioengineering. Our laboratories are, as I said, CNRS laboratories. So they are, in fact, just as our teaching is essentially structured around academic disciplines rather than engineering applications, so our laboratories are structured around academic subjects rather than applications. So we have the fluid mechanics and acoustics lab, tribology and system dynamics. So that's everything to do with surface technology and structural dynamics. The Institute of Nanotechnology, Ampère, which is electrical engineering, then Camille Jordan, which is mathematics, and then LIRIS, which is to do with information technology. So it's to do with everything like signal processing, image processing, but also data handling, big data, and so on. And many of those laboratories, or in fact all of them, are joint laboratories with other higher education establishments in Lyon and in the region. So if you and you have the opportunity as a student to do research in these labs, then you are working alongside people from all over the region. We also participate in a number of international laboratories, what are called Laboratoires Internationaux Associés, or Unité Mixte Internationale in other parts of the world. There's one in Canada with Sherbrooke, in Brazil, and also in Japan, China, and in Australia. We have, well, these figures are a little bit out of date. We have, I'm trying to reduce the number of agreements that we have to make our exchanges more efficient and more robust. So when this was done, there were about 180. We've pruned that. We've reduced the number of partners, and we have about 70 double degree agreements with engineering departments throughout the world. So that was the first presentation. I got another one which explains now the academic possibilities. So let's see if I can share this. Is that okay? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So the way that our education system works is that students in France take, at the end of their high school career, take the baccalaureate at the age of 18. And then in France, if they want to go to one of the grandes écoles, such as the Ecole Centrale, they then continue with a special type of education, the classe préparatoire, which normally lasts 2 years, and this prepares them for our entrance exam. So they do 2 years post-high school preparing for our entrance exam, which is an entrance exam shared with other grandes écoles. So entrance to the Ecole Centrale is competitive, and our students are drawn essentially from the top 2.5% to 3% of those taking the national entrance exam. And so they come to us after having done these classes préparatoires, and the engineering degree with us takes 3 years. The first 2 years are devoted essentially to what we call the core curriculum. And then in the final year, they specialize to some extent in one area of engineering activity. And so our education system is based on semesters, and to remain consistent with the 2 years spent in the classe préparatoire, our first semester in the first year is S5, and then S6, and then the second year S7, S8, and then in the third year S9, S10. So in France, the engineering degree that we give has the same status as a master's degree. And some of our students at the same time that they do their final year can do one of the master's courses, one of the master's degrees that we offer. And so international students can enter the system at a variety of points. We take some for double degree and they come and do the first 2 years. We take some and they come and do the second and the third year. And those are both double degree programs. So if they succeed, they then have 2 degrees, one from their home university and one from us. But it's also possible for international students to come and do just 1 semester. So they will usually come and do S8, the second half of the second year, or they may come and do the final year, in which case they get a diploma of advanced studies at the Ecole Centrale, or they can come and do a research-based course for 6 months, for 1 semester or 2 semesters, in which case they get a certificate in research training. So we have a number of ways in which we can accept international students depending on what they want to do. Paradoxically, I will start with the final year, and then I'll go back to explaining the core courses. But in the final year, S9 and S10, students choose an engineering discipline. I'll show you those in a minute, and a métier. They do one of each for the first semester, and then the second semester of the final year is an internship with a company or in one of our research laboratories. So S9, half of S9 is taught, and half of the final year, the S9 is taught, and S10 is an extended project which is evaluated by a report and a presentation. The options in the final year are based on our research activities, so transport and traffic, energy, civil and environmental engineering, maths and finance, computer science and communication, bioengineering and nanotechnology, and aeronautics. So all students pick one of those. And then they also pick a métier, and so these are the métiers that we offer. So it's a type of work, and all métiers and all options are compatible. So there is no obligation if you choose a particular option to choose one of the métiers. And so these are related to the type of work that an engineer might do. So consulting, research, design and innovation, risk management, organizational excellence, so logistics, or business development. To give you one example, I've got a couple of examples actually. If you take the aeronautics option, then the aeronautics option is made up of a number of taught courses in the first part of the semester, and you have a range of courses to choose from. And then the second part of the semester is devoted principally to some sort of design project with different specializations. And then you could pick as a métier, for example, the risk management one, when you would take courses on some of these aspects, and you would do some applied work as well. Another option, if you're interested in transport, you might do the traffic and transport, and then you would take a mixture of taught courses and some sort of design project as well. If you are interested in coming for research, then you can come for either 1 semester or 2 semesters, and you will do an extended research project with a research group in one of the labs, and you can then choose to follow any number of taught courses from the 3 years. So this was originally introduced to enable us to take students from universities where they hadn't studied French and didn't have enough French to follow the taught courses. We've had some very, very good students. Some of these projects have given rise to joint publications. And so now we have taken students from the UK, from Japan, from Russia, from Italy, and from Spain on this program of either 1 semester or 2 semesters. And if you complete it successfully, then you get a certificate in research training from the Ecole Centrale. You can also do a master's course. So some of our masters are taught concurrently with the final year. And we also have 3 international masters, which are rather separate because they're taught entirely in English. And so they are separate from the final year, but we take a lot of international students on those. Student life at the Ecole Centrale, as I said, we have about 25% are international students. We have a special introductory week for all our international students, so the week before all the other students arrive. So this year it will be the week beginning the 24th of August. So all the international students who are coming for the first semester will arrive, we hope, on the 24th of August. And then they have an introductory week where we help them with all the administrative formalities to do with settling into a foreign country. But we also introduce them to Lyon. They have a number of activities designed to integrate them into life in France. And then at the end of that first week, our other students, our French students, arrive. And so there's an introductory week for French students, which culminates in a weekend organized by the students somewhere. So we do a lot to welcome students, or international students who come for a year will be offered automatically a room in one of the student residences on campus. So these are some of the residences. We have room to essentially accommodate all our first year students and international students. Obviously, the first month is a bit more expensive, but as a rough estimate, you can count between 500 and 600 euros a month as living costs. This is the cafeteria, the student cafeteria on campus. For those doing the double degree, sport is a compulsory part of the curriculum, but we offer a wide range of sporting activities. Again, a lot of them organized by students. You've got some examples here. And the Ecole Centrale includes on campus a sports ground and a gymnasium, and there are agreements with others to use sporting facilities elsewhere. So this is, I don't know whether this is going to run within this. Can you see this? This is just a film about Lyon, to give you some idea of the city. So I believe that this year Lyon was voted for the second year running the best student city in France. And then there's a final one with some international students talking about their experiences at the Ecole Centrale in Lyon.
Staying here is the best way to discover community. There are two reasons why I chose to come to Centrale de Lyon. First of all, there's a large variety. As Ecole Centrale de Lyon is based on general engineering, this kind of system allows students to get to understand what different are available. Although I specialize in aeronautical engineering, here I can focus on energy. The classes are quite small, and there's a lot of interaction with the teachers. The second main reason why I chose to come to Centrale de Lyon is definitely students get the opportunity of reading here and classes months, either in a lab or. This is a marvelous way for us to discover. Finding this internship pretty much guaranteed students fully supported by the school. They organize a lot of career events and they get out. I think it's wise to take advantage of the great number of contacts who have with well-known companies. For some students, it can be the starting point of their career when they get directly employed from the internship. What's for sure is that this opportunity will definitely open doors for the future.
Students' residencies on the campus. Thus, you quickly get to know a lot of from the lessons, the residents, or the staff of the have common kitchens, and we organize floating every Thursday evening. There are parties where you can go to with your mates. The community creation is so important that there are more than 50 students on the campus. You can practice theater, music, dancing. You can administrate the school network. You can build racing cars or rockets. As for me, campus life is a real asset of Centrale de Lyon, which I will miss when I leave.
Most students live on campus, and there is a strong community spirit that comes with it. Here at Centrale, you can choose the sport we practice from a list of more than 15 options. I can play, for example, soccer, like I used to do as well. We can also work on social projects, like, for example, Teleton Challenge, where we go biking from Lyon to the south of France, 4 days, and it's all about raising money for social institutions. And on my spare time, I love skiing, and it's organized by the ski club. You don't have to worry about transport, accommodation, and finding the best price. On the weekends, I don't go skiing. I love to fly to other big cities, for example, Barcelona and London, so I really enjoy studying there. I think you, being of this, strolling around the city, you sometimes be surprised to find yourself in the city of new ages. And you order a Roman time theater. However, if you take some step further, you'll be surprised by the modernity of the city. The Tower of Cartier, the Lyon Opera House, the Stadium of Gerland, which is famous for all football fans in the world. One of the famous events in Lyon is the Battle of Light. It's really hard to describe its magnificence. There's all kinds of lights shining everywhere in the street, and the city falls back to silence. We just love the feeling of watching the river Rhone flowing quietly on the sunshine. I just love the city.
So I don't know whether you have any questions?
Yes, I have some questions I would like to ask you.
Sure.
So you told us that international students going to Centrale Lyon have the option to study there for 2 years. So we have to choose where to study the first 2 years. That will be semesters 5 to semester 8, or semester 7 to semester 10.
Yeah.
And the last year is the internship or research and the métier, right?
That's right.
Is there anywhere where we can find a program of these years? Because I found one, but it's from 2014 and 2015, and it only goes up to semester 8.
Okay. So on the website of the Ecole Centrale.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go onto the website of the Ecole Centrale and you go onto the tab marked Formation.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side of that web page, you will find a list of documents. I'll just get it up and see if I can show it to you. I've never tried this before, so I have no idea whether this is going to work. Formation.
I'm asking because probably the courses have changed since 2014.
Okay,
Maybe not much.
So you go on to let's see if I can share this with you. Okay.
Okay.
I guess actually what I need to do is just hold on a second. Start up a new. There we go.
I can hear some documents here. Document and links. This is in French, and I don't speak good French yet.
So you go. Let's see if I can share this now.
It says Presentación de la formación de ingeniero, Programa común. This is common to international students as well?
Okay, here we go. Can you see? You can see this?
Yeah.
Right. So if you click on, this is the entry page for the Ecole Centrale on the internet. So if you click on Formation, and then Ingénieur Généraliste, and then on the right-hand side here, you have Documents et Liens. And so Programme du Tronc Commun, that is the program for semesters S5, S6, and S7.
Okay.
The next one is the program for S8. And then the next three are for S9.
Okay. So as international students, we can apply to these programs too. I thought that maybe they were different for international students.
No. If you're an international student and you come to the Ecole Centrale for a double degree, you take the same courses as our students.
Okay. 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 Thank you. That was one of the questions.
Those documents, in principle, should also be. I'd have to find out where the link is, and I can probably email it to you. But they are also available in English. Those are the French versions.
All right, that will be useful, but I think that I can manage with written French.
The other thing I should tell you is that if you come to do what we call the double degree 2+3, so the second year and the third year, then the first year of your program, you choose either S5 or S7, and then either S6 or S8. But everybody, I would strongly advise you to choose S8, which is a mixture of optional courses. And so your main choice is to decide whether you want to do S5 or S7.
Okay.
The thing is that all of our teaching is done twice. So, for example, the core course in fluid mechanics, which lasts about 100 hours, 100 taught hours, is done in both S5 for half of the year and in S6 for the other half of the year. And some of our courses are done in S7 and S6. So you choose whether you want to do S5 or S7 based on what subjects you want to study. But you'll be able to discuss with us the choice of courses that you make. Okay.
Then when you were first speaking about the formation in Centrale, you told that everyone has to do one semester abroad, and that's mandatory. As international students, do we have to go abroad too? I mean,
no. You would have to stay with us.
All right. We do everything in France.
But we will consider for the purpose of our degree, because we will, if you complete successfully, we will award you the degree of the Ecole Centrale engineering. And so we would consider that you are doing your time abroad when you're with us.
It makes sense. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, I would think if I have any other questions, maybe some of my schoolmates have.
Sure. Other questions?
Can I make a question?
Sure.
So if I understand correctly, we are, as students, we are going to do this engineer generalist program, and which are not the master's program. Is that right?
They are not the master's program. To be quite clear. Okay. The engineering degree in France has the same status as a master's degree, but it's not a master's degree. We offer at the Ecole Centrale, together with other establishments in Lyon, about 14, I think, or 15 master's degrees. Those master's degrees are in a whole range of subjects. Most of them are based on taught courses in our final year. So, for example, if you were to come and you were to do the 2+3 option, in your final year, you would find yourself in a class with some students who had come just to do a master's degree. And they would be taking the same courses alongside you, but for the master's degree. And so it also happens that some of our students, for particular reasons, want to do a master's degree as well as the engineering degree. And so those students can register and do the master's degree in parallel with their final year. And because the courses are shared, this usually means that they only have to do a few extra courses in order to get the master's degree. We have not had this problem. This question has not been particularly examined up till now because it wasn't very important. But we are attempting to develop a policy about whether double degree students will be allowed to register for a master's degree as well. Okay. So I can't give you the exact answer because we're still discussing this. But in principle, it might be possible for you to do a double degree, and if you do the 2+3, and in your final year, register for a master's degree as well. But we haven't come to a decision about this at the moment.
Okay, so we are going to apply for the double degree agreement. It's for the engineering, the 2+3. So what do we have to look in your web page is the program that you show Gardo Carlos, and not the master's programs.
If you want to do the double degree, then you must look at those programs there. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Could you tell us how the admission process is for international students?
Sure. We all our exchanges, both incoming and outgoing, are examined and decided by a committee of academics who evaluate all applications both to study abroad and to come and study at the Ecole Centrale. In the case of partners where we have double degree agreements, so this would, again, process is different for different programs. But if we talk about the double degree program, then normally what happens is that the selection of candidates is done jointly by us and by your university. And so for the moment, we have an academic correspondent for UBA. It's Malek. And so so he interviews prospective candidates. Okay. It's a little bit more complicated because this is in the context, the framework of the group of the Ecole Centrale. So there's a sort of joint process where we, rather than everybody competing and so on. But basically, once you have been selected through this process, then our local commission accepts the decision of the people who have interviewed the students. Okay, so we don't have very strict quotas, but we do have limits, nevertheless, based on our ability, our capacity to accept additional students. We are operating, at least for the core curriculum, we are operating at full capacity, and so the number of students that we can accept globally is limited. Okay, obviously another concern for you and for students from other Latin American countries is the availability of funding.
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
So many of our students come to us with grants from either the Eiffel program or, in your case, Architect.
Yeah.
And so obviously the selection of candidates is also based on our appreciation of whether you are likely to need financial support and likely to get financial support.
I think that at the moment architect scholarships are paused because of the pandemic situation.
Yes. I don't understand why.
And do you know if there are other financial aid for students, maybe local aids in Lyon or through enterprises that work with Centrale Lyon?
We do not have, we do not at the moment have any grant program of our own. We don't have any scholarships at the moment. What we can do is that there are a number of employment opportunities on campus. So student monitors in the library, student monitors in the gymnasium, and student monitors in the IT department. And so international students can supplement their income with these part-time positions. If you hang on, I can't remember how much. If you hang on a minute, I will tell you.
All right. I think that nevertheless the most important thing is to be admitted first and then see how you finance the experience. But it's really useful to know too.
Yeah, we've become very aware that our recruitment of students from Latin America is very heavily dependent on the availability of
it is
funding.
I think that students from South America are brilliant. Probably I'm not the most brilliant of them, but we do have a very important economical disadvantage related to our currency, especially, Argentina at least. It is really sad, but it's also real. So when we start thinking about these opportunities that are of academic excellence, we have to think of how we're going to finance it, because sadly we can't go to France with no money. It's quite dangerous, to be honest. So when we get there, we want to know that we can focus on studying and not the money, like some of us can do here, and some of us can't even do that here. So I don't know.
Sure. Other questions?
one more question.
Sure.
In my case, also, I mean, I understand that to apply to the double degree in your goal, we need to have 3 years of the high school, our university career program done. In my case, probably for next August, September semester, I will have only 2.5 of the career program done. Can I still apply for the double degree, or do you don't accept students that don't have 3 years of the career done?
Well, this is something that is in the process of. We were discussing this just before the before this presentation. We are in the process of renewing our agreement with UBA, and under the old system, the only double degree program that we offered was 1+2. And so I believe that for the 1+2 arrangement, students came to us after having, because the terms are staggered, the academic year is staggered between France and Argentina, came to us, I think, after 3.5 years. If you do the two, and then after having done the 2 years with us, students went back and completed their course at the UBA. What we have done with the 2+3 program with other universities is that we take students a year later, but they only do, I think, 6 months when they go back to their university, to their home university at the end. But this is something that we are currently negotiating. It will be part of the agreement, the new agreement that we will sign with UBA. But I think I am right in saying, I will just, if you can hang on a second, I will just check this.
Okay, thank you.
If you hang on a second. Yes, so in the 1+2 scheme, no, this is not the right document. I will have to get back to you on this, but I believe that it is 3.5 years and then 2 years with us for the 1+2, and here we are. Hang on. Okay, I'll see if I can share this diagram with you.
Okay, thank you.
Here we go. So this is the 2+3 arrangement for universities in Brazil, but it's the same principle.
Okay.
So students doing the 2+3 coming from Brazil would do 3.5 years in Brazil, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, S7. Then they would come and do the second and third year at the Ecole Centrale, and they would go back and do S10 of the Brazilian course.
Okay, I understand.
Whereas the for the 1+2, then you just shift this down by 1. So they would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they would come after S5 and do first year, second year.
Okay, so we have the...
That's for the 2+3.
That's the 2+3 program.
That's the 2+3 program.
Okay, and you say that we have another program, the 1+2?
Well, I'll show you the 1+2 in a second. Is that okay?
Okay, yes, I understand.
Richard,
Yep.
I was looking for the last double degree agreement that we
Yep.
signed in
2015,
about 5 years. Yes, and we talk about. I will share with you this copy of this document. And are you seeing the document?
Not at the moment.
Now.
Yep.
Okay. Are you seeing the clause of eligibility?
Well, all I can see is the...
Marcelo, hay una ventana que dice cómo desea compartir el archivo
Sí.
que lo está bloqueando. Ahora se ve el archivo.
¿Ahora se ve el archivo?
Sí.
Sí.
Then here is one of the articles of our agreement, of our double degree agreement, where we established that our students, the FIUBA students, have to have the first 5 semesters without the CBC, the Ciclo Básico Común.
That's for the I think at that stage the only thing that we offered was the 1+2, and so that is for the 1+2.
Yes.
This is the corresponding document for 1+2.
Yes, here you are the training program.
So if I can just.
I think for the at least for Brazil, for example, for the double degree 2+3, students should be they at least completed the 7th
That's
semester.
Right.
I think.
For the 1+2 program, which was the only program that we had with UBA previously, then it was, and it still is, as written there, so 5 semesters. But for the 2+3, it's 7 semesters.
Yes.
Yes. Here you are the Article 3.
Yeah.
Talking about
Yes, we can.
yes.
Yeah.
So you have 2 possibilities. If you have done 5 semesters, then you can apply to the 1+2 program, DD 1+2. If you have done 7 semesters, you can apply to the 2+3 program. So I can show you the equivalent diagram for the 2+3 the 2+3 program, the 1+2 program.
Okay.
I think. So this is the equivalent diagram for the 1+2 program. Here we are, 1+2. So that's 5 semesters. Then you come and do years 1 and 2, and then 3 semesters afterwards. So that was the original scheme. But since then, as I say, we've increased, we've enlarged our possibilities, and we can accept also students on the 2+3.
Okay, thank you. I understand.
I have a little question.
Sure.
In my case, I did the SVIT the last year in Centrale de Lyon, and I want to know if I can complete my double degree with this SVIT semester, or if I have to remake this semester in case I choose to make this double degree.
So if I've understood correctly, you spent 1 semester at the Ecole Centrale, and you would like to convert that into a double degree.
Yes.
I can't give you an answer to that straight away. I would have to. We've not had this case before. I would have to consult and find out what we would require you to do. I think it's unlikely we would require you to do. We don't generally encourage students to do the same thing twice.
Okay.
So I'll have to think about this problem. If you are interested in coming back and converting your S8 into a double degree, then we would have to think about how we would organize that.
Okay, excellent. So can I write you an email after this conversation to continue with this specific case?
Send me an email. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard.
I have just one more question that perhaps you remember, you can tell me. Some of the students here, we study civil engineering, and on the presentation, there were some internships related with civil engineering and environment. Do you happen to remember anything particular about these internships that you can tell us? Or?
Well, okay, I'm as well as being the Director of International Relations, I'm a Professor of Fluid Mechanics. And until I took over as Director of International Relations, I was jointly responsible for the civil and environmental engineering option.
Oh, so you can tell us.
So I was responsible for the environmental engineering part. So we have students in that option, students internships, they go from, let's say, standard civil engineering, so work on site, essentially site operations, site supervision, to design office, standard civil engineering design. It could be in reinforced concrete or in steel. But my particular interest is environmental fluid mechanics. So we had students that would go to EDF, the electricity company, and work on hydraulics or on the atmospheric boundary layer, on wind. We also had students working on safety issues with nuclear power stations, students going to the Compagnie Nationale du Rhône, again on hydraulics, but also on energy, students with Météo France, students with Ifremer, so that's coastal engineering. We have students have been to all of these. One student a while ago did their internship with a company in Marseille called, I think they're called Single Point Moorings, I think. It's a big company working in the oil industry for offshore facilities. So all the standard civil engineering activities, construction, design.
Yeah, but you have some more interesting options than that standard civil engineering. Well, thank you. It's really interesting, really inspiring.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hello, Richard.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
I've been looking at the programs, and I've seen that they say that double courses is the same as double degree, double diploma. In the page it says double courses, and under that it says double diploma.
Okay. Well, we have. I'd have to look and see exactly what you're referring to, but we have a number of other. I suspect that what you're looking at is something slightly different. We have a number of other double degree programs that are not international exchange programs. For example, students can do a joint degree or a double degree between the Ecole Centrale and the architecture school.
Yeah. I was looking at the management one, but that doesn't apply for us.
That management one is then probably a joint degree between us and the management school.
Yeah, with Lyon.
That's right.
Okay.
So in fact, the thing is that if you come to the Ecole Centrale on a joint degree with UBA, then when you're with us, you're treated just like a French student. So there is absolutely nothing special for you. You are just like any other student that we recruit. Okay, so there's nothing in our in those programs that is specific to international double degrees. You're just treated like a French student. Okay, so where it mentions double degree programs, then it's other double degree programs that are open to, well, to French students or whatever, but it's not specific to international students.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
We wouldn't take you, because it's very complicated. We wouldn't take you, for example, on the joint degree with the architecture school. That's a very complicated program that is very long and so on, and you have to have an architecture degree as well, and so on. So that would not be open to you.
Okay, and I got another question. When you mentioned some master programs that are entirely taught in English, we don't have that possibility to take all the courses in English. Or yes,
you don't have there at the moment. We don't have part of our teaching is in English, but not all of it.
Okay.
If you came for the double degree program 1+2, then currently I think none of our core courses are taught in English. For several years, we did an experiment where we taught, for some students, we taught the fluid mechanics course, which is 100 hours. We taught it in English for some students and in French for other students. But we've stopped that experiment for the moment. I don't know why. And so for the core courses, all the teaching is in French. If you come for the 2+3 program, then it is possible for you to do, your choice will be restricted, but it would be possible for you to choose courses in S8 that were entirely in English. So you could do your S8 entirely in English. And you can choose courses in S9 that will be taught mainly in English. The programs should indicate whether the course is taught in English or not. But for S7, you would, or S5, you would still have to do some courses in French. So it's not possible for you to do the entire 2 years only in English. The international masters are a separate, completely separate program, which are not currently covered by an agreement with UBA, but that might change. But you could always apply as any other student, but then you wouldn't have the benefit of coming as an exchange student, and in particular, you would have to pay fees.
Okay. Thank you.
I got a question,
Mm-hmm.
a finance question. I believe there in France, students have to pay a fee, a state fee for study. Is that covered in the agreement, or do we have to pay impuestos fees?
What are all our exchange agreements specify is that students who come on a recognized exchange do not pay fees to us, but they continue to pay whatever fees they would normally pay at their home establishment. So you would not have to pay fees for if you came on the double degree program. There is a slight confusion, and it changes every year, so I can only tell you the situation this year and last year. There was a fee that was levied on all students, French and international, called the CEVU, something to do with the basically student facilities, which was about 200 euros. And last year, for example, all students had to pay that. This year, nobody has to pay it. So international students who come this year pay nothing. No fees at all. If you wanted to do a master's degree, as well as your double degree, so in the final year, then currently we would, and that's usually what's in the agreement, we would ask you to pay what a French student would have to pay to do the additional courses. But this also is something that we are discussing, whether we start including the master's degrees in our agreements. if we include the master's degree in the agreement, then it might be that you would not have to pay to do the master's degree either. Okay, but if you come for the basic double degree, then you will not pay fees.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, one last question for me, and then I will stop bothering. So if we want to apply, we have to look for information to apply. It's a joint program that we apply to all the Ecole Centrales, and then we say we want to go to Centrale Lyon.
Well, I'll let because Malek is particularly involved in the recruitment process. He can probably answer more accurately.
Okay, okay. You're muted. We can hear you.
Yes, when you apply, indeed you are going to choose a school among the 5 schools, okay? And once you are selected, you first you will go to your choice. For example, if you want to go to Ecole Centrale de Lyon and you are selected for that école, you are going to go. But sometimes, for example, Ecole Centrale de Lyon or another school say, no, I'm not. I don't want this. So maybe you can go to other schools.
Okay.
Okay, you can. It's not. For example, if you choose, let's say, Ecole Centrale Paris, maybe they have a lot of students who want to go there. Maybe you can go to Lille or Marseille or okay. But once selected, first you have to pass the first exam, let's say.
Do you know the deadlines for this application if we wanted to go next year, for example?
Well, I in the past I didn't participate in the selection. I think it's maybe Marcelo could say what happened exactly, but I think it's in usually in November or October, something like that. But Marcelo have this information.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. In fact, until now, we had some students to perform a double degree program in Centrale Supélec, but I don't remember exactly. But in the case of Ecole Centrale, the deadline is September, and in order to present to apply the program. And after that, there are some exams that you have to pass, or interviews. I don't know exactly how Centrale, the Ecole Centrale will go to examine our students.
All right.
But I am trying to contact the persons at Centrale Supélec, but all of them are in holidays. Then we have to wait until
they come back.
The last week of October. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think that this year, for obvious reasons, all the interviews will have to be done by video conference.
Zoom, yeah.
And that means, I think that whereas in previous years we sent delegations to do the interviewing and the evaluation, I think that everybody will be able to participate, first of all. But I think that the real deadline comes from the fact that many students want to apply for funding from either the Eiffel or the Architect program. and they have their own deadlines. For example, the Eiffel program, the deadline is the beginning of January.
Yep.
So you can only apply for an Eiffel bourse if you have been selected by an establishment. So everything has to be done early in the year to enable you to apply for these grants.
Yeah, that's probably why I was asking. Okay. Well, I will talk to Marcelo once he has more information on the application process. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, nobody's asked about how often you can go skiing.
Okay.
I don't know how to ski. That's why I didn't ask.
Well, I think you can. The ski club organizes something every weekend, so even people who've never skied before learn to ski fairly quickly, I think.
How cold does it get in Lyon?
Well, we usually have a couple of days of snow every year. It doesn't get
that cold.
It doesn't get terribly cold. It varies from year to year. There have been years when we've had a lot more snow. It gets quite hot in the summer, at least the last few years.
Particularly this year. 40 degrees.
Oh, that's a lot. That's even warmer than Buenos Aires. It doesn't. We don't hit 40 degrees very usually.
Okay, I think if there's no more questions, we...
All right, well, thank you very much for your time for all the information that you provided us today.
Okay, no problem.
Marcelo, on reste 2 minutes après.
So just if anybody has any questions afterwards, you can always send me an email.
What is your
thank you
email?
very much.
My email is well. If you ask,
I will share with you email address of Richard and Abdelmalek.
All right, thank you, Marcelo.
Okay, bye.
Por haberte conectado.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Abdelmalek. Thank you very much, Richard. Richard is talking from London City, isn't it?
Well, Oxford.
Ah, okay. Is your real residence address, or is a family?
I'm with my parents this week.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Enjoy it.
All right. Well,
Okay.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Gracias a todos.
Au revoir, merci.
So much, thank you.
Marcelo,
Bye, bye.
2 minutes de projet ou de l'accord, ou on se donne rendez-vous pour une autre fois?
Oui.
Ok.
Oui, on peut rester.
D'accord.
Je vais arrêter l'enregistrement.
Parfait.